Warning. Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul CLoughie. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Hey, my friend, how are we doing today? You good? I hope you're good. And if you remember, if you listen to hashtag 445, I had a dream. And I talked about my dream and how it came to reality of a sort. It went in a different way. It was an adventure, but started from something that I didn't know anything about and ended up where I am right now. And I said at the time, I would do the how, but not in that episode. I'd do the how in another episode, and this is that episode, the how. How do you go about thinking about your dream? But this is not a goal-setting thingy. I've done enough of those, and if you look back over the past catalogues and you search it, you'll find some goal settings, all different types. And if I can remember, I'll put them in the show notes. But I just want to talk about how you would think about your dreams. And maybe at the end of this, we'll do it as a little bit of light hypnosis. I don't know yet. See how we feel. So what I would like you to do is just consider these things, but I want you to bring maybe your dream in mind. The big one, maybe the one that you're a little bit scared to think about. But you got that feeling. Remember that feeling? Feeling that just makes it a little bit anxious, but a little bit exciting. Thinking about it. But the thing is, what we sometimes forget to do is actually think about what that bloody dream is, specifically. Because if you don't think about it specifically, things get the opposite to that, which is general. And do you want, a general dream? The result to be general. Who wants that? I want more money. Yeah, you got more money. You got $1. You got £1. That's not. But you got what you said you wanted. I want a new job. Well, you might get a new job, but it might not be the job you want. Might be in the wrong career, or maybe whatever it is. Let's have a little think. If you were to think of it specifically in the positive, so it's not what you don't want, it's what you do want, what would it be? And think it now. Imagine you've got it already. What is it? I am. I love I am. But this is what I want to be. This is my goal. I want to be this, this, and this, or achieve this, this, and this, or to be able to do this, this, or this. But be specific as you can. Things will get more specific as closer you get to the goal setting. But you do need to have an aim in mind, don't we? Not a general. So just think, what specifically do you want? And what we don't do is, at the same time, think, well, where the bloody hell am I now? Am I halfway through that towards the goal? A third? Maybe you haven't even started. But we need to know. Because what gets measured gets done, and the measured is the reviewing. But if you know where you are now, it means basically you're associated into the present moment. So you know exactly where you are now, looking forward to that dream, achieving that goal. You know what it is now specifically. Oh, specificity. Love that. And now you can start to make a plan. And you might even think about a little bit of what will you see when you get it? Because you know what it is you want now. But just for a moment, if you were to think, what will I see in the world when I've got it? What will I see? What are the type of things I'll hear? It might be my internal voice, it might be other people because it might involve other people. It might be applause. Maybe you want to do some speaking, training, whatever it is. What will you hear? Maybe it will be people just congratulating you. And when you have all of that, how will it make you feel to have it? Because now we're building up the recipe of the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And we can do that quite easily, can't we? And we can keep doing that. And if you think about it, that picture you're making in your mind, if you make it slightly bigger, slightly brighter, maybe a little closer, gets a little bit more motivating, doesn't it? Gets a bit more like it's pulling you towards it. I mean, if you could, when you have what it would be like, what you're heading towards, you know what it is, and you can feel and hear and see exactly what it would be like when you got it, you could act as if. And if you started to act as if you've already got it in your behaviors, your language, your thoughts, they call it body language, but just your physiology and your psychology, I guarantee you that dream would get here quicker. Because you can act as if you have it right now. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? If you just started to act as if you'd already got it. So I guarantee you, your confidence would come up, you'd start seeing things in a different way, you would be making positive changes. And when you think about what you'll see, what you hear and that, you really need to make a note of that, because that's how you'll know when you've got it. And think about it now, though. Is there a specific thing in that goal that when you get and reach the thing you're reaching and aiming for, that will tip you off? Not off course, but tip you off to say, you bloody got it. You'd gone and done it. I can remember when I did my trainer's training, the thing that I was going to have is I was going to be sitting by myself on some steps, which I didn't know existed, but apparently they did in the end, with my certificate and saying, Jesus, CLoughie, we've actually gone and done it. And what happened? There were some bloody steps. And at the end of it, I was sitting on those steps saying exactly those words. And I knew that was my trigger point to say, you've bloody gone and done it, CLoughie. So how will you know? What will be the marker for you, the trigger? You need to think about it, because you don't want to go past it and miss it. Yeah. Now, sometimes what we don't think about, something we could think about, we would be useful to think about maybe, is when you get this result, what will it get for you? Not just the feelings, but what will it allow you to do differently? What things would you be doing differently? Maybe new opportunities will be different for you. Just think, I've got this goal. What would be it's like the next step. But just knowing all the things that come and attracted to achieving this goal. And here's another thing what people forget. They do. They have to think. And you have to, because if you don't, it has to be for you. Because if it's not for you, you will not continue maintaining all that effort, giving effort to get it. Because if it's for others, well, it's a lovely thought. But it's up to them to get their goals. You can inspire them by doing what you do. But you have to initiate it as well for you. You can't wait for somebody else to do something first, or the weather to be right, or this to be right, that to be right, the economy to be right. No, you just do it. And it has to be you doing it for you. And think about it. Where do you want this thing to happen? Logistically, whereabouts do you want it? And maybe if you could put a time on it, when do you want it to happen? Because then you can work backwards, can't you? When you're working out a plan, doing the goal setting, you can say, well, this is a year's project, a month's project. Could be a week, because I want to go and do something in a week's time. Everyone, these are just aims in mind, little outcomes. They don't have to be the biggest thing in the world. But think, when do you want it? How would you like it to be? A bit like, how would I like to feel? And here's an important thing. With whom would you like to be there with? To be with you on this, either on the adventure or at the end of it. Because there will be somebody, some people, who you don't want to be with. And let's be clear. I want to know who I'll be steering away from, because they might be the naysayers, the dragging you down, and the people who would be like mentors, maybe, or supporters of you. Think about that. So who do you want it to be with? It's an interesting one, isn't it? Now, again, looking where you are right now on this trajectory of a goal, of an adventure. Have you ever done anything like this before? Have you? Anything similar? Because if you think about it, what type of focus did you have on that similar thing? The energy did you have? Was there any skills that you used back then? Because you're going to want to be tapping into that type of thing. But people don't think about this. They just go ahead and you think for a little while, oh yeah, on that other thing I did this, that. I could adapt that. So you're already learning from the past, using tools from the past. You're adapting it. Maybe the places you need to go and see, the people you need to speak to, how to speak to them, things like that. If you've done it before, what did you do and how did you do it? Now, maybe sometimes you think, I think I've done it before, but not quite as well. But do you know somebody who's done it before? Because that's the thing. If you know somebody who's done this type of thing before, why learn from your mistakes? Learn from their mistakes right now. Now, that could be in the form of maybe a book, a video. If you can't get to see them or write to them and get a reply back because they may be too busy, you can find information about people who've done these things before and find their strategy, as it were. What skills did they use? How much energy did they use? Where was their focus of attention? How often did they work upon it? All that stuff. And then, when you find that stuff and you start to act as if, man, you are head and shoulders above everyone else getting this goal. Tell you that you're going to be in the top percentile. Because not a lot of people do this. They just think of a goal, get excited, head off, and they fall apart because they haven't done this little bit of thinking. And then we can think of a little bit ecologically wise, but first of all, what's the purpose of it? What's the purpose of doing this? Is it just for you? Will it help the people around you? It's got to be positive for little old planet Earth. We can't have any negativity there. It's got to be ecological. So what is your purpose? What is your intention? That's sometimes you need to sit and think about that just for a bit. But when you get that and you understand it, then you become aligned to that outcome, aligned to the goal, aligned to achieving it. That acting as if, man, that just comes straight in. And now here's the one again. Here's something that some people don't think about. They think about this sometimes, this part of it. They say, what are you going to gain by going on this adventure, by achieving the result? What are you going to gain by it? Now, if it's a career, it could be promotion, could be more money, could be more experience, could be whatever. Maybe it's being social or going on trips and things like that. What are you going to gain by it? So it could be experiences, could be learnings. Sometimes it's like going on a course. What am I going to gain from being on this course? What's the purpose of being on this course? They're the questions I had to answer when I was on the hypnosis and NLP trainings. Why are you here, Paul? What's important to you about this course? What are you going to do with it? How's it going to change your life? And it's only when I started to think about that in that way, I decided it was if I could think of ways to use what I was learning in a more, call it more better way. I love more better. But here's the one. Here's the kicker that people never think about. What are you going to lose? What are you going to lose when you're on this adventure and when you get it? Now, some people think that's negative. What am I going to lose? And it could be negative in the way that you might be getting a different set of friends, because some of your friends might fall away slightly because they're not geared to this outcome. Maybe they're a different level at the moment, and that's where they are, and they're not ready to make these type of moves that you are. So you might lose a little bit of contact. But on the positive side, you might lose some anxiety. You might lose a lot of worry because of the results you get. You might gain a whole load of confidence. New people to talk about, new people to support you, mentors. So just to think, just for a moment, what will I win? What will I gain? And what will I lose? Yeah. And then I got some interesting little things, but I'm not going to speak about those yet. So I want to add it into the end of all of this. So we've just talked about it. We've had a conversation, haven't we? Now, I don't know whether you've made a few notes of that or you've thought about it, but here's what I want you to do, if it's okay with you, because it's going to mean closing your eyes. I said we might do a little hypno type thing, and it's only going to be a little hypno. But what I want you to think of is it okay with my unconscious mind and my conscious mind all together to consider this even more deeply? Because when we get it into the unconscious level, then your unconscious mind can begin to notice how important it is to you and find the skills and resources that you have and the focus, that reticulating, activating system, so you start to notice the things around you that match your dream, your goal. Would that be okay? Because I want you to close your eyes in a minute. You don't have to. Closing your eyes just takes any distractions away from you, other than my voice. So if it's okay with you, obviously you're not going to be driving or doing anything that needs your attention or working with machinery or anything like that at all, because if you do, you can always come back to this. Just make a note of the minutes. It's going to be round about, 18 minutes into, and then come and play. And how are you going to play? I want you, as I said, to close your eyes and take a lovely in-breath with me. Just breathe in and then let it out slowly, easily and effortlessly. And as you do that, just become more comfortable. You might even ask yourself the question, what would it feel like to feel 3 times as comfortable as I feel now? Oh, and feel it. What would it be like if the muscles around my eyes were so soft that softness came through every cell of my body with every out-breath? Oh, yes. And as you do that, just bring to mind that goal, that outcome, that aim in mind. And as you do, just notice how you can think about it in specifics. What specifically do you want? And as you know what you want, just remember, where am I now? Where am I now in relation to the goal? Have I started? Am I halfway through? What percentage? Because it's always good to stick a pin in the ground, as it were, to know where you are. And thinking of that outcome. When I get there, what are you going to see? What are the things you're going to see? The pictures in your mind and the things on the outside. Because you've got there. What will you hear? Will there be people around? Or will it be just your internal voice? Or both? Maybe it's applause or people saying, well done. Or just new people being your friends. And when you get all that, how will it feel? How will it feel to already have it now? Because feel it now. Feel what it would be like to have achieved it right now. And when you feel that feeling, make that picture in your mind bigger and brighter. So big, so bright. And as you do that, noticing everything about what you'll see, hear, and feel, just notice. You could act as if. What would you be saying? How would you be moving your physiology? How would you be breathing? How would you be dressing? How would you be talking? Physiology and psychology of excellence. Acting as if. And as you act as if in your mind's eye now and see that picture of achieving that dream, notice what are the signs that will tell you when you have it. And your unconscious mind can do the same, to notice the signs that will tell you you've achieved it, you've got there. Because when you know that, you can be so grateful. You can celebrate. I want you to celebrate every step along the way, but then this one's a big step, and you can let that one get so good. What will it allow you to do? What will it get you? Being here right now, having achieved that goal, what will it get you? How will it be? Because this is only for you, isn't it? Because you're initiating this goal. You're not waiting for anybody else. It's just you. You're taking action. You're at the cause of this wonderful outcome. And being there, you can be so empowered with that feeling of the wish fulfilled. Acting as if. Noticing your outcome. And noticing where you'll be. And everything else around. And when you do that, just notice and get your unconscious mind to notice, have we ever done this before? Or anything like it? What were the skills I used? And at the unconscious level, you, the unconscious mind, can go way into that wonderful place of resources where you have all the skills, the emotions, the beliefs, the behaviors, and notice of anything that you needed and you've used back then that you can use now. And maybe you'll notice and remember people who have done this thing before, so you can learn from them. Acting as if. Knowing there's a real intention, a purpose to this. Why is that intention? Feel the purpose. Feel it inside. Where is it? What does it really mean? How important is it? Knowing what you'll gain. All the wonderful things that you're going to gain. And all the wonderful things you're going to lose. Because this is your goal. And as you drift into all of that, I want your unconscious mind to consider the next 4 sentences. Consciously, you can have a listen, but let your unconscious mind notice what will happen if you get it, if you get this outcome. What won't happen if you get it? What will happen if you don't get it? And what won't happen if you don't get it? And let that sink deep inside, because that's when it goes into the void of pure potentiality. Feel the feeling, and then feel that feeling of having that goal again, having achieved it right now. See, hear, and feel everything about having achieved that goal. Get that feeling, let it get bigger and bigger and bigger, so intense. Because this is the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This is the feeling that you can think of every time you begin to work on this adventure, this goal, this outcome, every step along the way, because it will pull you. You won't need to be pushed. And then, when you're ready, you can Say thank you to your unconscious mind with a wonderful feeling of gratitude. And take a wonderful, deep breath with me. That's right. Hold it for a moment and then let it out nice and long and slow. And open your eyes. And there we are. We're back. And you can listen to that bit as many times as you want. But that doesn't stop you now. Start to plan your goal. Plan the steps along the way, the goal setting part of it. To actually start to know the steps, the smaller steps you can make, holding on that feeling of the wish fulfilled. Talked about it so many times before. So you hold the big picture, that picture of achieving that goal, and asking yourself, what is the smallest step I can do right now to hold on to this feeling? And just keep it with every step. And then you do your goals, your goal planning, where you're going to review and you're going to take action, and then you're going to make up for things that maybe people get in your way or think obstacle comes the way. It's the old hero's journey. And just get there. Because you will. I know you will. If there is, as I say always, when we've done this type of work, if something is in your mind now, you say, well, that's absolutely super, CLoughie. I'm there. I'm going to take these steps. I just need a little bit of help on X, Y, Z. Let me know. Let me know. You can email, I say it nice and clearly this time, feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. Just send me an email, send me what you're thinking of, where the things that are coming along and maybe stopping you, or maybe there's an emotion that's not quite right, or a negative belief has suddenly popped up. And we'll work on it. We'll come up with something for you. There'll certainly be something in the free hypnosis that I have. There's 70 tracks there, so something's going to fit there. That's paulcloughonline.com/podcast. Get one of those and just play with them. Just pick the one that jumps out and go, that's the one. Think of your intention, think of your goal, and then press play. But please do that if you know of other people who would like to work on their own goals, because you know they have them, they have those things, but they're struggling a little bit. Do pass them this episode if you would. Tell them about the podcast, so we can all start working on goals which are going to be so wonderful for the world, wonderful for you, wonderful for the people around you, and make a difference. So they'll make a difference to you, make a difference to your family, your friends, and little old planet Earth. That's what we're going to do. So have fun. Have more fun than you can stand. Send me that email. If there's anything you didn't understand, ask me a question through the email. Whatever you like. And before we go, remember, please, there's a subscribe button or a follow button or whatever, and there's a star button sometimes. I think that's on Spotify and things like that, where you can leave a little review or something like that. But please do follow, please do subscribe. It'll make a difference to how many people start to get to know about this little old podcast of ours. Okay? So that's me, Paul, Personal Development Unplugged. Looking forward to speaking to you real soon. Have fun. I'll see you soon. Ta-da.